Man punches cop and bites off his friend's entire nipple. Youch.
Antifa attacks Christians in Portland to end fascism.
Parrots can't stop saying funky music.
Hawk catches rabbit and then gets destroyed by deer. Epic.
And Frank Turek is going to answer every question Google has about God.
All this and more in
The Bee Weekly.
Should we play the cross-examined song? Is that what we should start with?
Yeah,
Should we put it on there?
the one that Ethan did.
Cross-examine! That was pretty early on that we put that up.
We should have been ready to perform it live.
Yeah.
You know? Get the electric guitar in here.
That was in the old office. I recorded that in my car.
That was recorded mostly in your car, which is amazing.
That must account for the high fidelity.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why it sounded so good.
Have we started?
We're starting.
Oh, we're here. We're here.
We're in the
Right.
show, man. The
All
show's
right.
going.
Well, yeah, we could either link it or play it. It's up to you guys. You decide.
You just play a little clip.
In the edit.
Yeah.
Little clip.
Little clip.
Apologetical assassin. Atheist chums getting cross-examined. No time for spaghetti monsters. Try to play a second team monsters. Little punks with your bunk semantics. Sounds in the laws of thermodynamics. You atheists around the scamming. They're about to get cross-examined. Tear you up like a bear with salmon. Wake up, chump, you got cross-examined. Your multiverse is just whack nonsense. Not enough faith to be atheist. Not enough faith to be atheist. You can whip from me, Zacharias. Spread love goes like a virus. Upon text tyrannosaur. Crack to rap in the bodies and
Basically, I'd been a fan of Frank Turek's for a while, watching all his Frank Turek owns college student videos. College atheist destroyed by Frank Turek videos, and I noticed he had this hardcore logo, so I felt like he really needed a matching theme song.
It's perfect.
So, yeah. So Frank, you're here in person.
Yes, sir.
We're excited. We love when people are in person.
And we can't say where here is, can we?
Somewhere in California.
No, yeah.
Somewhere on land.
We'll narrow it down to the state.
The state of California.
The country, yeah. The
All right.
communist country of California.
All right.
Here we are.
Yeah, and you're way taller than I expected.
That's because your phone is only this big.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you watch them on the big screen,
I've
it's still
seen
probably not.
yeah, because you're always like you're standing there on the stage, but there's nobody there to compare you to.
Yeah, you should have like a pair on stage so we can
I'd be short next to Shaq, so
size comparison.
there you go.
Yeah,
It's all relative.
for reference.
Yep, everything's relative. We already established that.
We know that.
All right, beautiful.
So this week we have besides talking to Frank a bunch, and we are going to do some weird news, but we also got some comments. A couple comments on we had a new video with a couple of hateful racist white guys. Me and Kyle.
Yeah, they're wondering, are they really that racist?
Are we
And they
are we
start to
really
question.
hateful?
And we had some comments on it. So this guy says,
I didn't pick this comment.
This guy says, this G is his name. He says, acting of blonde-haired guy is amazing. I assume that's Ethan.
I'm guessing that's
What
me.
am I? Chopped liver? I mean,
I like the follow-up. This guy replies, he said, yeah, Ethan's a great actor. Watch him as a psycho bayou hunter, which is, Trevor Gudge.
oh, look, here's a nice comment.
But then he says, they're actually both good actors. Kyle is also a great singer.
Which is funny because that was not my
It's
voice.
not your voice. Yeah.
The John Lennon voice was
That was
not you?
not me.
That was
Brandon.
not you?
That was our cinematographer, Brandon.
Well, why didn't he do it then? You got
I asked him
He
if
was
he
in
wanted
it.
to.
He was Yoko Ono in the
We needed him to be Yoko Ono because
because of our other Chinese.
because
we figured he would do a good Yoko.
because you did the bed scene with John and Yoko.
no,
You
we
guys
did
are
not
too
do
young
that.
for that. You don't even know what
No,
I'm talking
I don't know
about.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you don't.
I barely know who Yoko Ono is.
Yeah, she ruined the Beatles. Maybe.
And then another guy, we had R.W. Bimby, said, I don't give two spits worth of chew what one identifies as. And he says, wow, you boys did your research on this one. Yes, sir.
So is that a real? Do
Is it
people
because we
from the
know
South?
about chew or
Are
something?
you guys out of North Carolina? Is that-
North Carolina.
So do people
That's
say
right.
that? I assume around.
I don't give two spits a
Uh,
chew. Did
No,
people say that?
Billy Graham never said that.
No.
Billy Graham never said two spits to chew. He said, "I told Franklin to come over." Now, I don't have the North Carolina accent. If I did, everyone would be saved in North Carolina, but
true.
they're not.
Very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in a really small town in Oregon, and they would actually hand around a chew cup on the high school bus I would sit on the bus and I'd get the cup of chew spit and hand it off so I'm very familiar with the chaw. I didn't chew myself, but
You just passed the cup.
just pass the cup. Yeah, it was warm. So yeah.
Charming.
Well,
Watch that video if you didn't see it, because I think me and Kyle, we're learning how to act a little bit. It's fun. And it's funny.
This news is weird.
Hawaii man released from mental hospital where he was imprisoned for almost 3 years after being mistaken for a criminal.
Weird.
So this guy was asleep outside a Honolulu shelter in 2017 on the sidewalk. And a police officer woke him up and mistook him for another man who had an arrest warrant.
I like the guy's name was Thomas Castleberry.
And he insisted,
Not Thomas
I am not
Castleberry.
Castleberry. And they put him in the mental state hospital. Yeah, sure you're not Castleberry.
He kept saying, I'm not Castleberry.
Likely
And that,
story.
that only led to them drugging him more. That's what it did. It's real.
No.
So for 3 years, he's shaking on the
I'm
bar.
not Castle. He's still saying it.
He's still saying it. Hit him again.
He's like, I'm
delusional.
Spreisterbach. That's his real name.
Why didn't they accept his identity?
Yeah, he said he
That was
didn't
his identity. I'm
Identified not as Castleberry.
Yeah.
Spreisterbach is real name, and then Castleberry, that the guy's not. They both sound like drinks.
I'm trying-
Want a Spreisterbach or a Castleberry?
The cool, delicious taste of Castleberry.
Yeah. That's the fruitier one, and
Yeah.
the Spreisterbach is the dark.
Yeah, the
Dark ale.
dark stout ale.
Wow. Look at this. It looks like our government's not communicating very well. It says, turns out Castleberry was in an Alaska prison the whole time. And that's when Spreisterbach was quietly released from the hospital.
Go ahead. And he released into Alaska?
I don't know. Have a nice day.
So Spreisterbach, the real guy, now lives on his sister's 10-acre property and refuses to leave, which with good reason.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't want him really go back.
Never.
To society.
Especially like sleeping on the ground
Yeah.
and people interrupting you. I would never sleep again.
Yeah.
I wonder if he identifies as his sister's brother. Maybe that's why he won't leave, right? Maybe he's not really
We can't take Frank
her
anywhere.
sister's brother. I don't know.
He's going to get us in trouble. Man punches off-duty police officer in the face. Bites off guy's nipple in Chicago road rage incident.
Wow.
So Kyle Clark, these guys named Kyle are the
I know
worst.
Kyle's are always bad.
Was driving a black Volkswagen Jetta on Lakeshore Drive. You guys know where that is in Chicago. When he sideswiped another vehicle carrying an off-duty officer and his friend. The officer and his friend pulled up alongside Clark and said, "Hey, pull over," so he could file a crash report. The off-duty officer then identified himself as a police officer. He's like, "I'm a cop." And after the three men exited their vehicles, Clark allegedly punched the off-duty officer twice in the face. Blah, blah. That's a gun. Pow, pow. That could be a gun too. Sock. Then the friend tried to help. Clark attacked him and completely, I like that the completely's in there, completely bit off his nipple.
Ah, that leaves, yeah.
So that's
the
just a-
entire disc
There's just a circle now.
is gone.
Did he swallow it?
Yeah, what happened to it?
Or did he?
Is it missing?
He learned that from Mike Tyson. He must have.
That's
Mike
taking it
Tyson
farther than
approach.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It seems like a nipple would come off easier than an ear.
Well,
Well, no, I don't know. The ear is kind of like,
But it's got all this stuff, like hard cartilage. You know, that's why I give ears to dogs. You don't go to PetSmart and buy cow nipples for dogs. You buy ears. Because they're hard and chewy.
Case closed.
Case closed.
that was a real mic drop
'Cause
argument.
they're going to
there.
just eat the nipple like a jelly bean or something. Not going to be any work.
I won't hear of it. All right. Not going to be any work, right?
All right.
Where do you
Frank,
get this weird news stuff? This is
from the reality?
from reality. Okay, this is really real.
Yeah.
All right. Antifa attacks Christian prayer event in Portland. Christians gather by the thousands to worship anyway. And there's a video.
Here's a video. If you haven't seen this video,
Really?
it's pretty crazy. These Antifa guys, they're all showing up in these like fully black clad, you know, weapons. They're pepper spraying everybody they buy. They threw some explosives. There's children at this thing. They're breaking sound equipment, pepper spraying people. And they're saying this. You can hear them saying they're ending fascism.
They're didn't you guys say that if they don't use the salute that they want you to use, they're going to crush you, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Isn't that
a special salute.
Their special salute,
Yeah.
and they're the
The
anti-fascists. huh?
anti-fascists. So imagine how bad fascists are.
Yeah. Antifa uses
Right.
It's crazy.
they use a lot of tactics to stop fascism, like
Yeah.
burning books, marching through the streets, making you do their salute.
Anything,
Beating up people who disagree
anything
with
to
you.
end fascism, I'm on board.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Consolidating power in one guy.
Throwing explosives at children.
That's all valid tactics.
It's all better than fascism.
as long
than
as
real
it's not
fascism.
fascism.
Right.
Because
Since we're all clear on the definition of fascism.
Yeah.
As long as we're all clear.
And
I think we are.
You have to be pro-Antifa or else you're anti-Antifa, which means you're pro-fa.
Profa.
Yeah, you don't want to be pro-fa.
Yeah, you don't be. I'm not profa.
So I watched the videos of this thing, and it's insane. It looks to me like the Purge movie, or like,
Yeah.
and it's so hard for me to wrap my head around. Like, this is just happening in Portland.
Yeah, it's like the
I've never been to
Purge
Portland.
meets like a documentary about like Baptists or something.
Yeah, they're just
Church camp movie.
like, there's one video where there's a truck driving away, and they're like, "That's one of them. Go get him!" And they all run and throwing like smoke grenades at it,
They're
and
throwing
like, bad-
eggs and
it's just-
rocks.
And where were the police?
Yeah, and then that's the crazy thing.
Were
the
they
cops
defunded?
Did not.
They were defunded.
It's
Were they?
Portland.
Yeah.
There was one video of like Antifa going after a Proud Boys guy, and the cops just standing there watching him, like looking off to the side. You know, it's
Psycho,
bizarre.
man. I mean, well, anything to end fascism, though.
Mm-hmm. That must be it.
Yeah, as long as we stop fascism.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be mistaken for profa.
And look, despite the Antifa goons, the prayer and worship event continued with a large crowd gathering.
Nice. They only made them stronger,
That's right.
probably. I wasn't there.
So you were suggesting that we summon the she bears?
Yeah, that's where are the two she bears when you need them?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Where are they?
We should have Frank dissect the she bear part. Did we do that before?
I don't remember if we asked him about the she
can't
bears.
remember.
Do you
We've
think it
talked
would
about
be justified to call the she
The
bears?
she bears out of the woods?
Yeah,
Yeah.
moral.
Were any of these
quandary.
guys prophets?
I don't know if we should go that far. I think maybe I think maybe funding the police might be helpful. What do you think?
It's better than the she bears?
I think so.
Just fund the
Yeah.
police.
Yeah, fund the police. We'll leave the she bears in the zoo. Okay.
But if
I think it's wild that all this is still Oregon and a bunch of Christians meeting. There's got to be some Second Amendment people in there.
I saw the guys walking around with rifles, for sure. But,
Yeah, they had to have guns, but I guess they just were being, you didn't want things to escalate too
well,
fast.
even if you like bring a rifle, like you don't want to be the guy to like,
Yeah, the guy who
start
shoots
shooting.
first, yeah.
that's-
And they're throwing eggs and rocks and stuff, but I guess there wasn't time to shoot yet. But
yeah. Well,
it's the moment you watch it and you just want Batman to swoop in and just start.
yeah. You need a Batman. Yeah.
Just
Like
'cause
Bible
he
Man.
doesn't
We need a
kill.
Christian Batman, like Bible Man.
Yeah, Bible Man came.
Ooh, remember Bible Man?
That's a movie
Yeah,
right
Bible
there.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bible Man.
Bible Man versus Antifa. I'd go to that.
He would.
Let's make the movie trailer.
Let's write it.
Are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Uh-huh.
So 5 parrots at a UK zoo had to be separated because they kept encouraging each other to swear at guests. They had to separate these guys: Billy, Eric, Tyson, Jade, and Elsie.
Elsie.
That just sounds like a ragtag
Corrupting
group
the
of
one
macaws.
female parrot too.
They kept encouraging each other to keep cursing.
Do it again.
The zoo
Say
the zoo says they didn't get any complaints from visitors because most guests actually found it amusing.
Well, it's the UK. Everybody cusses, right? I'm watching Ted Lasso. It's an awesome, hilarious, great show, but it's just full of swearing.
Yeah. Well, and there's
They like swear in front of kids there.
and they have different swear words too. So
Yeah.
were these
They don't
British
even know they're
swear
cussing.
words? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say them. Just
not gonna say the British
we
swear
can't say what they were.
Do we
This
have
is a, this
British
is a family
flower-
show?
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you say a British swear word, does Dave DeAndre's voice come over it and
We
say
need a
like
British.
trolley?
Can we get Austin or somebody to do like a? I don't know what would he say? Bangers and mash.
Crikey. Yeah. Tally ho.
Is that a British thing? I don't know. Tell you it's good.
So yeah, maybe that's what they need to do with these birds is just take them aside and teach them to say things like flower bed, donkey,
Yeah, they really.
dolphin.
My wife had a
Marshmallow.
bird that said birds can't talk. That was pretty good.
That's good. I
Right?
like that.
Birds can't talk.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is it evidence of evolution that birds can talk?
Everything's evidence of evolution. If you're an evolutionist, you know that. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Convinced.
You convinced now, right? I just asserted it. It's true. So
Well, I figure an evolutionist believes every animal can talk at some point. That's why it shouldn't be too shocking that the snake talked. They just figure that's a highly evolved snake.
Isn't that
Probably.
you just stole that from Chesterton, didn't you?
I don't know. I'm so like my pores just ooze Chesterton, so I don't even know
That's
when
disgusting.
I'm saying him.
You should get that checked out.
I have a giant GK Chesterton rash.
yeah, get that off
Check
your
it out.
chest. Get that off your chest. Come on.
Am I up?
You're up.
You're up, man.
Woman drove off California cliff after stranger mistakenly opened her car door. So this is kind of like a series of kind of mishaps. So this guy opened the car door of her car thinking it was his car. It was actually not his car. So we've all done that, right? You think it's your car. And you're like, oh, that's not my car. He opened it. It freaked her out. She thought some guy was going to attack her. So she slammed on the gas, put the car in gear, and drove off a cliff into the ocean.
That'll teach him.
And
right.
she's okay. She hurt her foot, but she's
That was
okay.
it.
It was purely, I mean, this is like a crazy accident with all innocent, well-meaning people involved.
Which says that a man believed he was opening his wife's car door, which
he thought it
was
was
a
his wife,
similar make and in the next spot over. Yeah. There you go. Happens all the time. See, never open the door for your wife. That's the lesson right there. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Lesson.
How far into your marriage do you stop opening the door?
I still open the door for my wife.
Man, we still
Every
do.
time?
No,
time?
not every time. Not every time. For sure.
I'll do it on dates and
Here we
stuff,
go,
but
on
it gets
dates.
like,
On dates, yeah.
it gets like almost, they almost get annoyed with you. Like, okay.
Come on.
Isn't
I remember
every
me saying bless you when they sneeze. You still say bless you. Because my wife sneezes at least 3 times in a row every time she sneezes.
and wait to the end?
Do you
So
wait till the end, or do you give 3?
I kind of
bless
just
you?
stopped because she doesn't seem to, everyone has their love language. I don't think bless you is her love language.
That's, yeah.
But I always wonder where with new people, they'll say bless you. I'm like, you gotta wait. She's going to do it again.
So you're leaving God out of that?
You don't say God bless you.
God bless you. It's implied. God's implied.
Oh, he's implied.
How can you bless somebody
You know the thing.
without
as
God?
Biden said, you know the thing,
Yeah.
right?
I say flying spaghetti monster bless you.
Science bless you.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Neil deGrasse Tyson bless you. That's what I say every time.
Chance bless you.
I think it's Frankie's
Frank's
turn.
up.
Oh, is number 6 me?
That's
Yeah.
you, man.
I wanted this one. I read this morning. I can't believe it. New Oregon law allows students to graduate high school even if they cannot read, write, or do math at the high school level. Now, why would such a governor sign such a thing? You're from Oregon, Ethan. What's
to
going
fight,
on?
They need to fight fascism. So
Is that-
you got to make sacrifices?
That's another way to fight fascism.
Is that
in a
why?
battle against fascism of people praying.
Yeah.
Why burn books then if people can't read?
Right. It's an easier way.
It saves the,
Just teach
that's
them not.
good.
Less
If
carbon
people
emissions.
don't- exactly.
Okay.
Less carbon emissions.
That's what Kerry's been saying. He's been jetting all over the world in his private jet. Less carbon emissions.
People are reading like Jordan Peterson books, Thomas Sowell books. It's a real problem.
Yeah.
So if we can just
all
stop
books.
the reading,
Even the Bible.
yeah,
They're
Well,
reading that.
definitely.
definitely that.
And the Babylon B site, too.
That'll stop them from reading the far right misinformation site, the Babylon Bee.
That's right.
So yeah, this is great. So now if you show your high school diploma when you're applying for a job from Oregon, and it's like this guy's a person, it doesn't get to guarantee anything that you can do. Like it doesn't guarantee that you can read or write.
Look what it's the governor's deputy communications director said that suspending the reading, writing, and math proficiency requirements will benefit, quote,
This is so cringy.
read this. Read it. Go ahead.
That's so cringy.
Who's it going to benefit?
Oregon's Black, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian, Pacific Islander, Tribal, and students of color.
How is it going to benefit them?
So wait,
Well,
I thought
isn't
so
there an
Latino,
implied
Latina, and
racism?
Latinx are all 3 different groups?
Latinx is supposed to cover
I thought that
Latino
covers
and
it
Latina.
all. And isn't it offensive to use Latino and Latina if you use Latinx?
That's the whole point
we
of
have
using
a-
Latinx.
Should we get a Latino consultant
Yeah, we
in
need
here?
a Latino consultant.
Jorge, get in here. Can he come in here?
Are you a
Yeah,
Latino, a
yeah,
Latino, or
yeah,
Latinx?
what-
I would like to cede my time as a white man.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I will cede my,
Okay.
So, what's the deal with this? Latino, Latina, Latinx.
That sounds like a song.
Latinx, yeah. That encompasses everything.
Latinx.
That's everything right there.
Yeah.
So you'd be better off if you couldn't read, according to the Oregon governor.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm better
said
off
no
because
standards.
I'm less capable than everybody else.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
All right.
With a little bit more melanin, and
Yeah.
they were less capable, and it's a trend. So I guess I just ride a wave.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Yeah,
for
I'm
your
glad
people.
that you didn't have me before I joined the organization to write an essay. 'Cause
Oh,
I would
yeah,
have
you-
been left out.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we won't make you spell anything.
Well, I'll tell you, we taught this guy to read just so he could read the Babylon B-side. That's why. Thank you. We had the official Latino Latinx.
Can we just a moment
Consultant.
of applause for our Latinx?
Yes.
Thank
A
you.
brave.
It's really
Latinx.
brave.
Thank you,
was.
everybody.
Now then it says Indigenous Asian, which I think are different, and then but the Pacific Islander, tribal. Wait, indigenous. Okay, Pacific Islander.
They're just covering all their bases.
but they're extra.
what
There's a
they're-
lot of bleed over going on. Right?
There is.
Right. They're covering
Especially
all
the
their bases.
Latino Latinx. Latino Latinx. If I could speak Spanish, that'd be a
Yeah.
great song. Got anything? No.
Now, you had to have hurt somebody's feelings doing that, Ethan. I mean, come on.
I'm trying to write a cultural song. Okay,
All right.
let's just move on.
All right.
Uh,
But we can't read.
that's true.
How can we move
Kyle
on?
can read.
Kyle can read?
He went to public school in Oregon. I didn't.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true. I did.
Okay, you read this next one, man.
Craziest video ever. A hawk swoops down and catches a rabbit, and then a deer rushes out and rescues the rabbit by stomping the hawk to death. What in the actual heck? I assume that's how that headline was written and intended to be read.
I think you will get the Oscar for this show
Thank you.
instead of Ethan.
Yeah. It's a new live action Bambi? Is that
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. It looks like Disney's remaking all their movies with real people and animals, real animals like
this will
Lion
be the
King.
live action reboot?
Yeah, because it's a baby. It looks like Bambi and Thumper. So the hawk comes in, takes Thumper, Bambi jumps in, and I love these deer because they're not meant to do anything but kind of walk around. So when they start attacking, it's just like it's like one of those weird like punching dolls or whatever. Like they just start flapping their hooves, and the thing just is stomping this hawk like a thing that goes like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You got to think that's pretty embarrassing for the hawk. Like it goes back, and all the other hawks are just, a bunch of
Taken out by
crap.
Bambi, sucker.
That's right.
Where'd you get that bruise? Oh, I got in a real fight, But it
So is-
actually just got punched by a deer.
Punched by a deer.
Is this God, Satan, or evolution?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's why we have you here.
Oh,
You're supposed to
everything's
be able to answer
everything's
all this.
evolution. I forgot. Everything's evolution.
Oh.
Because there is no God in Satan, right?
Well, you're supposed to tell us. That's why.
Okay. Well,
You get the right Frank Turek. Cross-examined.
it's me.
The imposter.
It's me.
He lost his faith on
Yes.
the way here.
That's
He got
why I'm here.
witnessed to by an atheist on the
I
airplane.
got hit in the head outside by a deer. So,
Well, I guess I have to read the last one
what's the last one?
Yeah, this is perfect.
because I read all the Guinness World Records.
And this
All
one
right.
is. There's no one more well suited for Kyle
Oh,
here.
jeez. City of Kyle. So I'm on the record against
He hates
Guinness World Records because they're all stupid. Like they're not. It's not running a mile in a certain amount of time. It's like, I can stack up M&Ms.
I ate 7 Cheetos
I
in
ate some-
3
yeah.
seconds.
The city of Kyle, Texas, is attempting to gather a bunch of Kyles for a Guinness World Record.
And they're going to be at Lake Kyle, I believe.
Will you be there?
I should go.
Yeah, because that's what I don't know. Where are you going to go? Because they're asking Kyles to go. You could go there and document it.
So it's trying to get as many Kyles as possible to set a Guinness record at its annual Kyle Pie in the Sky Hot Air Balloon Festival. The city of Kyle is attempting to break the world record for gathering the most Kyles. Has to be spelled that way. In one place at the annual Kyle Pie in the Sky Hot Air Balloon Festival on Labor Day weekend at Lake Kyle.
Got so many Kyles. It almost sounds like, it's like Z Kyle. It's scary. the way
Z
it's-
Kyle.
It sounds bad. Z Kyle.
This is like a dad joke that just went too far.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This is the thing that is an outcropping of just Facebook and just the stupidity of.
Yeah, the meme culture just too far.
Because like I said, I've been a part of an Ethan Facebook group, and it's a large group of guys.
Just a bunch of Ethans.
Yeah, and they want to do all these meetings and stuff.
Yeah. I don't even want to meet up with people I like.
Yeah,
Why would I meet up with
I've never met a good Ethan.
Same.
I think actually, I don't know. I'm just kidding. If I met you and you were Ethan. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to debating Frank Turek about God.
I don't believe in God. I already told you.
Now this
that.
is weird because you can see our questions.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Usually you shouldn't see our questions during this part. We will randomly select these.
Okay, go ahead.
So where do we begin, Kyle? Frank Turek is he's an apologeticist.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
correct
apologist
sorry,
form.
but that's what I am. That's
Is
right.
it geticist or gist? Apologeticist? Apologist.
I think gist will
Just
do it.
gist.
Just gets the gist to the
Just
gist of
gist.
it. That's right.
Okay.
So God created mankind. God created Satan, and he knew that. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. He knew that Satan would tempt Eve and Adam, and that it would be cast into sin. And then he knew that would one day lead to humanity creating TikTok. Can you defend that idea in Christian theology?
God allowed TikTok to be created because kids just don't have enough to do. There's not enough entertainment out there. So I guess TikTok was allowing God or allowing humans to create something that kids could be amused by and waste a lot of time. Although
Kids?
we're starting to put some videos up there. You
Yeah, I
guys
was
got
going to
some videos?
ask. Are you
TikTok in it.
No, we did 2 videos on there. We don't understand.
That's it? Yeah, we're just starting. So
Do you wear a sideways hat and hold a skateboard?
yeah, that's right.
And
It really gives me academic credibility when I do that.
when you do,
Yeah, and I go through the cosmological argument with the skateboard and the
while you
sideways hat.
dance
That's
and-
right.
Yeah. 'Cause that's all it is like people dancing and making arguments and pointing at things on the screen. I'm like, oh yeah. I want to see a Frank Turek TikTok dance now.
I may record one when I go down to the Kyle Guinness Book of World Records Balloon Festival.
Yeah, but you're not a Kyle.
Well,
Yeah, he'd be kicked out.
that's right. I wouldn't make it. But I could be your guest, Kyle.
No, that's true. I'll get a +1.
Why should someone who has never put much thought into faith reconsider and begin exploring religion? And why even start thinking about Christianity? I feel like that's in this culture.
Yeah,
A lot of
well-
people, they're just like, they didn't grow up around it. They're just like, why do I even care?
What could be more important than eternity? I mean, if Christianity is true, and it is, what could be more important than that when you think about it, right? I mean, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you're going to be alive. You might want to consider whether or not it's true. And the older I get, the more I realize, man, this is so temporary, what we're doing here. I mean, time's just flying in my life.
Right.
And seriously, I mean, why wouldn't you consider?
Or why pick Christianity?
Well, because I think it's true. I think Jesus rose from the dead, right? There's only 2 facts you got to prove. God exists and Jesus rose from the dead. Those 2 things are true. Christianity's true. I mean, mere Christianity, the essentials of it.
What would your advice be to somebody who's like, I've never really thought about faith at all. I never thought it just didn't seem like a big deal. And now I'm thinking I should start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Where should they start?
Well, I would say look into the person of Christ because there's nobody in the history of the world who has had that impact. And when you think about how could this guy who lived for 3 years in an obscure part of the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago, who never traveled more than 200 miles from where he grew up, never wrote a book, never led an army, never held political office, never did any of those things that we consider, hey, this is a big deal. How could he be the center of human history? How does that happen? In fact, I had a student once at the University of Maryland after I gave the I don't have enough faith to be an atheist presentation. We're all kind of hanging out after it's over as an atheist. And he was talking about the New Testament and he was really dissonant. And it seemed like he didn't even know what was in it. I said, have you ever read it? And he was flummoxed. He had never read it. I said, look, man, I don't care how old you are or where you're from or what your upbringing was. Jesus of Nazareth is undoubtedly the most influential human being in the history of the world. If you're going to call yourself a pursuer of truth, you got to at least read what he apparently said and did. I mean, you may read it and go, oh, I don't think it's true, but you got to at least read it. You know, you got to look into it. And he never did. So I think unbelief in many cases is not so much a matter of God's existence. It's a matter of our resistance. We don't want it to be true, right? We want to do our own thing. We don't want there to be a God because we want to be God over our own lives. And that's why I always ask people the question on the campuses, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And many of them will say no, right? Because they don't want it to be true. God's getting in the way of my happiness, right? They're on a truth quest. They're not on a truth quest, they're on a happiness quest. So they're just going to believe whatever's going to make them happy.
Follow-up question: do you prefer the theatrical edition or the Snyder cut of the Justice League?
Ooh, Schneider cut. And Schneider cut.
The Rob Schneider.
The Rob Schneider cut, yes. That's right. No, interesting you should bring that up, Ethan, because my son and I, who is also a seminary grad, Ethan Kyle. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Kyle.
But he just ignored my question and went back to
totally.
you.
I totally went back over here. Yeah. No, my son and I, who's also a seminary grad, he's in the Air Force right now, but he's also graduated from Southern Evangelical Seminary. We just completed a book called Hollywood Heroes, How Your Favorite Movies Reveal God. It's not going to be out till March of 2022, but we spent a fair amount of time looking at the Rob Schneider cut or the Zack Schneider cut. And because there's a lot in the superhero movies, because that's most of what we're doing, superhero movies that point to Christianity or at least theism. And so that's what the whole book's about.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like write a movie and be like, the whole theme of this movie is that your life is pointless.
That's right. Yeah, there's no meaning.
You can make a good compelling narrative out of that.
Is a person who believes in free will predetermined to deny the doctrines of Calvinism?
You know, I get that question so much about free will and predestination. And the truth of the matter is, just because God knows what you're going to do doesn't mean you don't have the free will to do it. Like, you know, mother puts down her baby to go to sleep, and she knows at some point that night that kid's going to wake up. But her knowing it doesn't cause the baby to wake up. There's not necessarily a connection between knowledge and causation, but somehow people think, well, if God knows what I'm going to do, I don't have free will. No, you sure do. This is why Geisler, my co-author, wrote the book Chosen But Free. Of course we're chosen. He knows who's going to believe and who doesn't. And when he creates the universe, he knows how it's going to turn out. But that doesn't mean he's causing us against our will to either believe or not believe. We still have the free will to believe or not to believe. Just because he knows what we're going to do doesn't mean he's taking away our free will.
But God could have actuated a different universe.
He could have. And if that were the case, he would have elected that universe. Right. But he elected this universe with the free creatures in it. And people will say, well, why couldn't he create everyone to believe? Well, that might be logically possible, but not actually achievable. Because with free creatures, there's one thing God can't do. He can't force free creatures to believe in him. That would be, obviously, there would be contradiction. You can't force them. All he can do is provide them life and then see what they do. He knows what they're going to do, but he gives them the freedom to do so. Otherwise, you couldn't have love if everyone's just a moist robot, you know?
So when he like blinded Paul on the road to Damascus, Paul was just, he was just like, oh, you know, if you want, Paul, you can.
Well, Paul does say, he said, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision. So he could have turned away. He could have said, I don't care who you are. Or I'm taking a different interpretation of this.
Now I want God to like come, you know, and do an altar call on the road to Damascus and like play the softly and tenderly. Please come forward, Paul.
That's right, Paul. Please
the
do
Arminian
it.
Version.
That's
like
right.
it.
Paul, just raise your hand. Close your eyes. Raise your hand. No, but you get older, you start to lose your train of
you know, the thing.
the thing. Yeah, the thing. You know it. The thing.
Come on, man. Come on, Jack.
It'll come back to me later.
I mean, how about this just as a follow-up question?
Oh, no. I was here.
okay.
I got it now.
Okay.
Who was it? Some famous atheist said, I think it was Krauss who said, if God wrote in the sky my name or in the stars, I am here, I would believe. When it was another atheist, I think it was, may have been, I'm getting old. Who's the guy that, Atkins, the guy that invited Craig, that debated Craig a couple times. No, Atkins, not Hitchens.
The diet guy?
Peter Atkins. Peter, the diet guy. Yeah, he was overweight and he was on the Atkins diet. And he didn't believe in God. No, he basically said if Jesus appeared to him, he would see a psychiatrist, right? He wouldn't think it was a real revelation. He would think he was mistaken somehow. He'd gone nuts, So I think many people who say, if God would only appear to me, I would believe, in reality, they'd probably go, no, I need to go see a psychiatrist.
So on the free will question, how important is it to know, people debate this like crazy, and I tend to go, Well, if you have to act like you have free will anyway, maybe I'm just being lazy, but I tend to just back off and go, well, I don't know.
About free will?
About free will versus predetermination.
Well, it's both. Because when God elects to create the universe...
Why should I care so much about that question?
Well, I think you should care about it because it reflects the nature of God. Because if we don't have free will, then God's a divine tyrant.
Like, I know where I'm leaning, but
Yeah.
I lean more free will,
Sad.
but Kyle doesn't.
No, when people say I don't have free will, I ask them, did you freely come to that conclusion? And if not, why should I believe what you just said? You know, if you're just a molecular machine and physics is just pumping out this thought that I don't have free will, why should I trust it?
It's God's authorship, right? That's what you'd say.
Are you arguing for me?
I'm trying.
He's arguing, yeah. Then God's the author of evil. He gives us the thought to sin, and we go and sin.
Let me just throw another follow-up question. Another direction. Do midgets have night vision?
Midgets have night vision.
Answer
I
the
found
question
some
first.
actual questions people have asked on the internet, and I'm just throwing them in there now.
Where did that come from?
I'm sorry about my co-host.
That sounds like Larry the Cable Guy or something.
Do midgets have night vision?
That's right.
You don't have to answer that.
You're a small man to bring that question up.
If someone eats himself, would he become twice as big or disappear completely? I can't.
That's got to be a Stephen Wright joke.
I don't know. Are Catholics going to hell?
There we go.
This is
the real
easy.
question.
That's right. We're all going to hell if we don't accept Jesus, whether you claim to be Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, Muslim, atheist. You got to accept Jesus as your Savior. So it's not where you go to church that determines whether or not you're saved. People say, do you think Catholics can be saved? I usually say, I even think some Baptists can be saved, right? If they trust in what Christ has done. That's how you're saved.
What about Methodists?
Can Helen Keller
What
be
about
saved?
them?
Well, if you're born,
Deaf, dumb, and blind?
yeah.
You're Tommy?
No one can ever tell you about Jesus.
But you did communicate, right?
She communicates. Take out Helen Keller.
Forget Helen Keller?
Yeah. Just get a guy who had his head glued into a motorcycle helmet as a baby. No. He can breathe somehow, but he can't talk or hear anybody.
These are exactly the questions I get on campus. This is very helpful, Ethan. Thank you.
So yeah, could he be like, oh yeah, maybe he might not know the name Jesus unless maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's the same kind of question we had people prior to Christ. They were saved by trusting in Yahweh. They didn't know the name of Jesus. The New Testament seems to indicate you need to know the name, but God is so loving that he wants to get everybody the name and will get people the name who want to believe. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So God wants us to be saved more than we want other people to be saved. So I trust in the love of God on that. Nobody in the afterlife is going to go, God, I got a raw deal. You know, I shouldn't be where I am. No, God's perfectly just and perfectly loving. So
Can you be following the wrong text and yet, now this, I'm not saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate or something. I don't know what I'm doing. But like I do have this, I do wonder about this. If you're following, you know, can you find, like, if a deaf, dumb, and blind person can find Christ, they don't know that that's his name or whatever. So they're probably coming with some concept of who this is, but they don't quite know. Can that happen in another faith? Can somebody who's, whether they're Mormon or maybe they're in Islam or they're following a different text, is it possible that when they are...
It's philosophically possible, but theologically, just like, because it's philosophically possible that you can... Geisler used to say,
the person they're praying to, maybe it's Jesus.
Well,
This happens,
know
at,
it.
this
They just
happens
don't
at
know
the
it.
end of the Narnia books.
Yeah,
The
the same.
guy who
That's
was,
right.
like,
It's kind of a
worshiping
thing
the wrong God
that
goes-
C.S. Lewis is kind of like...
Yeah. That's when
sympathetic
I
to.
burned all of my Narnia books when I
that's
read that
it.
part.
When you said that was it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's philosophically possible that you can benefit from a sacrifice that you didn't know about. You know, you could enjoy a steak not knowing the cow that was sacrificed for you to enjoy the steak, right? But theologically, the New Testament makes the claim over and over again that you need to know the name. And really, this is a moral question. It's saying that God is somehow immoral if he doesn't accept everyone. Well, if people truly want to know God, they will seek out and get the gospel in order to be saved. In fact, Paul says in Acts 17, when he's talking to the Athenians, he says, God has so prearranged the world. He said that he's appointed the times and places where people should live so that people would find him or should reach out to him and find him, though God is not far from each one of us. So he seems to be indicating that God has so prearranged the world that those who truly want to seek him will find him. I mean, we know people that hear the gospel and don't believe it, right? We know our friends and relatives. They know it, but they don't believe it. It could be that those who never hear the gospel wouldn't have believed it anyway, right? I mean, that's certainly possible. And so, again, I rest in the love and justice of God that nobody in the end is going to go, oh, I got a raw deal. If only this had happened, I would have become a believer. No.
Okay, I'm going to list some animals, and I want you to tell me if you could beat them in an unarmed fight. They surveyed men and women, and then they divided it by nationalities too, to see which people thought they could beat these animals in a fight. And I'm curious where you land on this scale. So I'm not going to do all of them, but a house cat. Can you beat a house cat in an unarmed?
A house cat. Well, house cats are demonic. So,
That's true.
You know,
You have the power of the Holy Spirit.
I would use a crucifix on the house cat, probably.
But answer honestly. You're dropped into an arena,
Uh-huh.
a house cat, unarmed. Can you beat it? Can you kill it?
Can I kill it?
Yeah.
This is
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail if I start killing house cats.
Well, I'm not saying you're actually killing
This
the
is
cat.
the Hitler of
right.
house
This is
cat. It's
hypothetical.
a fascist house cat.
Yeah, it did something really bad.
It voted for Trump.
It voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Wow.
But its vote went to Biden.
I could probably take the house
Okay,
cat.
all right.
I probably could.
Medium-sized dog.
What,
like a collie
what
or
kind of
something?
dog?
I don't know. Is there
What's a medium-sized dog?
Yeah.
Like a collie or something like that?
collie?
I probably could. Yeah, Lassie I could probably take.
Okay, large dog.
No.
St. Bernard?
You don't think you'd be a large dog?
No, not like a pit bull.
Okay,
I'd
23%
run
of
away.
Americans think they could beat a large dog.
Yeah.
King cobra.
King cobra. No thanks. I'd run from that.
Okay, kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Yeah,
You can't run. You got to fight it.
you have to fight. You're locked into. an
Oh,
arena.
you're locked in.
You have like death. fight to
Kangaroos
the
are
death.
like boxers, aren't they?
You're handcuffed to each other.
We looked this
Wow.
up. Only one
Even the
person's
snake.
ever been killed by a kangaroo.
Oh, okay. I guess I could then.
Okay,
Yeah.
two more: gorilla
A gorilla, no.
and elephant.
I'm locked into an elephant. No, he's going to squash me.
Almost 10% of Americans believe they could beat an
They
elephant.
could beat an elephant.
Which I believe. I totally believe that
American
number.
resilience.
Yeah.
Only 2% of British people think they could beat an elephant. And that's why we won the American Revolution.
That's it?
All down the line,
that extra
American
8%.
people had more confidence than all-
Americans were more confident in every single
every
fight.
single fight. Yeah.
Sometimes like 5 times more confident.
Because we got the Lord on our side.
You were a little less confident.
Well, if you said pig, I would have said yeah, because I'd have gone for the bacon,
Yeah.
right? Because bacon makes everything delicious.
You
Grab them
just
by the bacon.
Eat the bacon
Yeah.
out of it right there while it's squealing.
Yeah, bacon could make roadkill.
Just
taste
reach
good,
in and-
so
I don't know
that's
what makes
right.
it good. I don't like eating it raw,
bacon.
good,
Yeah, you got to cook it. You're right.
Yeah.
especially if it's pulsing.
That's
But I don't know,
raw and wriggling.
wriggling bacon. Kevin Bacon's brother.
I saw them open for MXPX. Okay, what do we want to do? We're getting close to the end of our
We're gonna
free
We have
portion.
so many more questions.
Do we want to do the rapid fire questions about God on Google? Or we want to save that for the subscriber portion?
They're pretty deep, but we could try. We
Do
could
it.
do the Google questions on.
The
We
Google
still
questions.
got some love mail and stuff too.
Yeah, we looked up the top Googled questions about God, so you can answer all the internet's questions about
Oh,
God.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the rapid fire answer all the questions
Okay.
on Google about God.
Here are your questions, people of the internet. Top questions about God on Google. Number 1, is God and Jesus the same person?
Well, God has 3 persons, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So Jesus is a person in the Godhead. But God the Father and Jesus are 2 different persons. They share the divine essence, though.
That was an easy one for you.
Yeah, that was easy. How about this one though? Is God of War on PC or Xbox?
Is God of War?
That was the second "is God" question.
Is God of War on PC?
I think it's on PlayStation, actually.
Thank you, Kyle.
Also, it's asking if it's coming to
He
other
knows.
platforms.
He
Yeah.
knows.
I can answer that one. Is God a woman?
Is God a woman? Negative, but he's not a man either in the sense that he doesn't have man parts. Jesus as a human being has man parts because he is has two natures. He has a divine nature and a human nature. So in his human nature, he's a man.
I've heard people say that the word for Holy Spirit sometimes is feminine. Is that fact check true or fact check false? Frank check.
Frank check.
Frank check, don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sad.
To be frank.
Here's a new one. Why does God allow suffering?
Why does God allow suffering?
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. God allows suffering because we have free will, and with free will, we can love, but we can also do evil. And when we do evil, God can ultimately redeem it. He allows suffering because if he stopped suffering every time that we exercised our free will, we truly wouldn't be free now, would we? And of course, suffering can be redeemed. Suffering can help us grow. Suffering can build character in us. Suffering can do quite a bit of good, obviously. It can also do quite a bit of bad, depending upon your attitude toward it. And of course, the beauty of the Christian worldview is that it really is the answer to evil and suffering. That's what Christianity is all about. What's the solution to evil and suffering? God comes to earth, adds humanity to his deity, and takes it on himself. So when people ask, if God, why evil? The answer is Christianity. Christianity explains all that and solves it.
Why does God love us?
Because we're made in his image, meaning we're his representatives, and he's a God of love. So he loves what he creates.
Why does God not answer prayers?
Because sometimes our prayers are stupid. Right? Because,
Well, not.
But what about the
somebody
not
praying
stupid
for their sick
yeah.
child or something?
right. No, yeah, there are prayers that we don't always know why God doesn't answer the way we want them to, but we know why we don't know why, because we're stuck in time and God sees the entire end from the beginning. And due to the ripple effect, something that we see now, like say, tragically, a child dies, and we go, why does a child die? Well, we know why children die in general because we live in a fallen world. But why did that particular child die? I don't know. But maybe the ripple effect, which happens after any event occurs, can ultimately bring forth great good. Maybe a child dying today ripples forward through centuries. So 500 years from now, a great evangelist arises and saves hundreds of people, partially because of the suffering or evil event that took place here. So God can bring good from evil, even when we can't see it.
Why do Christians call Jesus the Christ?
Because Christ means anointed one, and he is the anointed Savior. He's the Messiah.
Is Jesus more powerful than Zeus?
And Zeus, yes, because Jesus is the creator, and if Zeus exists, he was created by Jesus. But of course, he doesn't exist.
But he's got the lightning.
He does. He does have the lightning.
Are people who claim to talk to God insane?
Only if they can't read because they went to school in Oregon.
Can God speak to me using the voice in my mind?
Can he speak to you? Can the Holy Spirit speak to you using the voice in your mind?
Am I talking to myself or is the Holy
Yes,
Spirit?
How can I tell the difference?
Yes.
The one that sounds like James Earl Jones. That's good.
No, Morgan
It
Freeman.
sounds like God right there. Yeah, I think God can prompt you to do certain things, but if it is contrary to the scriptures, it's not from God, it's from the other side. My friend Greg Kokel, you guys know Greg, wrote
Oh, he has a
Tactics
great
and all
essay
that.
on that. Yeah.
He does.
He's our second favorite.
Does God
apologist.
Whisper? Yeah, Does God Whisper? Check out
Yeah.
his on his website. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Can free will exist without the existence of God?
Can free will? Nothing can exist without God because God is the ground of all being. So there wouldn't be anybody to be free.
Trick question.
Well, I think there's this argument like that if the universe just spontaneously got set into motion, then there is no free will because you're just the result of the explosion.
We're still just all the particles falling down a cosmic staircase and accidentally.
Yeah, well, you'd have to come up with some sort of emergence theory for consciousness then and say somehow
Chemical reactions.
Yeah, that everything can't be chemical reactions because if everything is chemical reactions, then they're just chemical reactions. They're determined. They're not, there's no freedom. And so one of the problems I think atheists have is that intuitively they know they have free will. Intuitively they know that love is a good thing. Intuitively they know that justice exists. They just have no way of justifying any of those things. Because if we're just molecular machines, how do any of those immaterial realities exist? So what we're doing as Christians is we're saying we have this effect that we call consciousness. We have this effect that we call justice or love. We have these effects, and what we're reasoning from is effect back to cause. That's how we know God exists. We take the effects and we say these effects are best explained by a cause known as God. So we're reasoning from effect to cause. So when people say, how do you know God exists? I say because God is explained by his effects. You look at the effects of the creation, that's the effect is the creation, so the cause is a creator. Effect is design, you look at the cause of designer. Moral law written on the hearts, the effect The cause is a moral lawgiver. So we're reasoning from effect to causes, which is what scientists do. Science just is a search for causes. That's what we're doing. We've got all these effects, so how do we explain them? Now, I know they're going to come up with the God of the gaps argument and all this, but there's no God of the gaps argument for, say, the creation of the universe, because there was no natural law that could have created the universe, because natural laws were created with the universe. That's the whole point. It's got to be something outside the universe that brought it into existence.
I'm going to need you to calm down, Frank.
I can't.
We're going to move on
I'm too excited.
Now that all your answers have been questioned.
If Batman's parents are dead, how was he born?
This isn't on the internet. This is just...
Batman's parents were killed when he was a young man, by what's that villain's name in there? It's in our book.
That was just a mugger.
It's just a random mugger. Yeah, in most.
There's a random mugger.
Did they connect at some point? They can't help themselves.
He was 10 years old. He saw it.
Some of the versions it's one of the villains, but it's actually just a mugger. All right, we're gonna do some love mail and some hate mail.
Oh yeah,
love mail. And hate
close
mail.
out the show.
Beautiful.
All right,
we just have love. Oh, we have love and hate.
We usually do hate mail, but we decided to start with love mail this time because we actually got our first nice message in months.
Love mail, baby.
Someone messaged our CEO, Seth, and said, "The bee has been with me as I began my walk. I am now saved and in a church I love. Thanks."
From the Babylon Bee.
So they're not technically saying we had anything to do with it.
They didn't say that we got saved, that we saved them.
Right.
But
we've been with them.
We were part of it.
We're there.
I'll take it.
Sure. We get half credit.
People will ask me, like, has the Babylon Bee ever converted anybody? I'm like, I have no idea. But now I can say yes. One.
You get 1/2 point.
If it saves one soul, it's all worth it.
It's worth doing.
Yeah.
If it destroys one fascist.
All right, let's do some hate mail now.
I really miss Adam Ford.
That's enough of the touchy-feely stuff.
Ooh.
This is from Shelley.
And Frank gets to read this one.
Oh, okay.
Shelley.
In your best Shelley voice.
Yeah, you get to be Shelley.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find Shelley.
It's way down under all the questions.
Oh, way down. Oh, Shelley. I see Shelley. Oh, wow. This is...
Baptist modesty post? Do we need any background on this?
I think we did a post about the Olympians having new Baptist uniforms, the floor-length denim skirt.
Okay. That's it? Okay. Yeah. Here, in regards to your Baptist modesty post, going after Christians, now are we? Pathetic. It's one thing to go after politicians because they signed up for this scrutiny, but Christians get a bad rap from liberals as it is. You're sending a terrible message out to women who feel personally convicted, like myself, that modesty is a laughable, ridiculous idea. I would never wear a long denim skirt, but I see the message you are sending, and it is unfortunate.
I like that she's like, don't make fun of the denim skirts. I'd never wear one.
That's it.
But still.
Well, this is just another instance of people not getting it, not getting where we're coming from.
Yeah, because I don't know that we're Christians.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll see those posts like, "Oh, you went communist."
Mm-hmm. I like every time we post, we joke about Christians. Someone will say like, "Why do you guys never joke about Muslims?"
Yeah,
I don't know. We're making fun of ourselves. I also like this implication, like, well, politicians signed up for scrutiny, but not Christians.
No,
you become a Christian, you don't sign up for any scrutiny.
No persecution, nothing.
No,
everything's supposed to be
part of the deal.
It's supposed to be your best life now. You know that.
Yeah. Well, we love you, Shelley, and sorry that we made fun of the denim skirt that you also hate. We're going to move on to our subscriber lounge now, where we're going to do some cool stuff. We got the bonus 10 questions for Frank Turek and some bonus hate mail, and we're going to read some subscriber-submitted headlines.
Hey, before the subscriber thing, can I say one thing? No. You ought to subscribe. You really should.
Yes, you can say
that. You play some inspirational music behind this?
Yes, because if you actually subscribe, it means the Babylon Bee is uncancelable, right? You can't cancel the Babylon Bee if they have enough subscribers, right?
Keep going.
I keep going?
This is the inspirational music.
So
can you give like a fascist speech?
A fascist speech?
Slamming on the...
Subscribe to the Babylon Bee now. Will you send them one of these cups if they subscribe?
Right now they get a full-on book now.
They actually get a massive, beautiful book. Yeah.
The giant biblical book.
We used to send that out. I don't think any version has that now. I
Well,
think now they get the really. See, look at this amazing book they get.
You don't send that to
Big,
Oregon, do you?
giant hardcover.
Nobody
Not to Oregon. 'Cause
Nobody
they can't
can read it. Nobody can read it.
If you're in Oregon,
Oregon,
we'll send you a mug instead.
Well, we do, but
send
then
you a mug.
the mailman
That's
can't
right.
even find the mailbox because he can't read. So he's running around.
That's
Put
right.
these over here, I guess.
No, really, subscribe because it's great stuff. You get a lot of free stuff behind the scenes, and you're helping the Babylon Bee continue despite what big tech says, despite what people who hate what they're doing says.
Well, personally, can I say
They
something?
didn't ask me to say that, by the way.
Can
It's
I
your
say
show.
something?
Go ahead. Yes.
I think you shouldn't subscribe to the Babylon Bee. I think you should support Cross-Examined instead.
That's it. That's right.
Crossexamined.org with Frank Turek.
That's right. Cross-examine.
Cross-examine.
All right, we're going to do our subscriber portion.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
A runaway trolley is heading down the tracks towards the Newsboys, who will be killed if the trolley proceeds on its present course. You are on a footbridge over the tracks, in between the approaching trolley and the Newsboys. Next to you on this footbridge are Ethan and Kyle.
God's not dead, but the newsboys are. What can I say?
God's not F5.
So is it morally justified to kill Kyle and Ethan to save 5? It's kill the lives of 2 to
Would
save.
you kill us to save the newsboys? That's basically.
Wondering what they'll say next? The rest of this podcast is in our super exclusive premium subscriber lounge. Go to babylonbee.com/plans for full-length ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave D'Andrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up to the most exclusive podcast experience on earth, the Babylon Bee Brothers International 3-Ring Circus, one night only. Wow, as Chris Tomlin tames a mighty hymn and turns it into a cuddly little kitten. And be amazed as the miraculous Joel Osteen makes entire portions of scripture disappear. Marvel as Christian pop artists walk the cultural tightrope. Get your popcorn, peanuts, Donald Trump hair candy right this way to the greatest podcast on earth.
As we say to welcome everybody to the subscriber lounge every week. Oh yeah. Frank?
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Is that it? Good.
That was perfect. It was beautiful. So the subscriber portion, usually we do some bonus hate mail, and we read some subscriber submitted headline. We let our subscribers submit headlines to the site.
Nice.
They get to pay us to write for us.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We
a
read
brilliant
them to
plan.
them. Yeah.
And then we
like
read
that.
them back to them and mock them for their terrible.
You call yourself a writer.
It's the perfect plan, really. We recommend it for any site that wants to make money. So do we want to start there, or do we want to start with some?
Let's get some Frank behind the
get some
scenes
Frank-
stories.
let's do that
Frank
first.
Turek on the
Behind
road.
the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes. You do a lot of traveling.
Any
Yeah,
crazy
Meet a lot of crazy people.
conversion
Well, yeah,
stories?
Or you get
crazy-
any weird? You get any weird venues you got to do this at?
Have you ever been held at gunpoint?
No, not yet, but I think it's coming since, we haven't been on a college campus due to COVID for a year and a half. So it's about to start up supposedly in the fall of 2021. We'll see what happens. I think the environment's going to be a little bit different.
You never
since-
everybody would protest and try to cancel your
Oh, yeah. We've had
heads?
that.
Okay.
We had it at Winthrop once. The LGBTQ people tried to shut it down, which was great because you got more publicity
Yeah,
and
right.
had to
It
bring
is
in
great
more
publicity.
chairs, right?
Yeah.
You got more people coming. One time out of a university in Ohio, we had the entire an entire LGBT group. And I don't know why they're protesting because I'm not talking about those topics on campus unless it's a Q&A, right? I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. But they show up and they're all lined up against the wall with their signs, love wins and all this stuff. And so I went up to them and I said, hey, I'm Frank Turek. I'm the one you're protesting. I said, well, why don't you come on in? They go, even gay people can come in? I said, everybody can come in. It's open to everyone. So we got them all bottles of water, and then they all stood in the back of this huge conference room against the wall, and they sat through the entire 90-minute presentation. And heard the gospel at the end and everything, and then it was time for Q&A, and one woman marches up to the microphone and says, "Is homosexuality a sin?" And I said, "Well, homosexual behavior is, but having homosexual desires, you might not have the ability to control that. That's not necessarily a sin. But the desire or the actual action is a sin, just like any other action."
Well, but hang on though, because if I have a desire to cheat on my wife,
It's okay for you. You're following your heart, right?
but is that a sinful? That desire in itself is sinful. No?
Well, it is, but if you have no control over it, the problem is if you feed it, then it becomes sinful. Jesus said if you even think about lust in your heart, you're guilty. So technically, yes, but you don't have any control over some thoughts you have, right? The issue is, can you resist behaving that way? There's a difference between attractions and actions. And so I was just trying to draw the distinction between attractions and actions with this woman. And after I said that, she said, okay. And she walked back, and that was the only question we got from that whole group. And they stood there the whole time. By the time the Q&A was over, it was 2.5 hours. And they just stood in the back.
What's the longest Q&A you ever done?
Probably an hour and a half to 2. Yeah. So we do an hour and a half presentation, and then an hour and a half, 2 hours Q&A.
What's the most common question that you get at those?
Common questions are usually the moral questions, LGBTQ stuff. That's where people are right now. 70% of the questions are moral. If God, why evil is a moral question. What about those that have never heard moral question? Why did God kill the Canaanites? Moral question. Slavery, moral question.
Do midgets have night vision?
Do midgets have nightmares? That's another moral
Nightmares,
question, right?
night vision.
Night
That's
vision,
right.
nightmares, both.
Exactly. So, morality is the key. And the interesting thing is, there is no morality, no objective morality, unless God exists. So here are people coming up with all sorts of moral objections to God, yet if God doesn't exist, their moral objections evaporate. So they have to kind of sit in God's lap to slap his face.
You ever get any Christians trying to help you out in the audience and pop up and they start answering for you or anything?
Sometimes you get Christians at the microphone wanting to lecture the audience. That's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
It just happened the other night, actually. It was actually at a church. And I said to the lady, "Hey, do you have a question?" And she's just...
Oh, they take over the mic?
Yeah, they take over and then I think this and I think that, and what he just said, this, that, and we're like, all right.
There's an inherent danger to handing a mic around a room.
It is.
Especially in a church.
Yeah. But usually the audience catches on and goes, well, I didn't come to hear this person. So you just got to
start throwing fruit at them.
Give us Barabbas.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. So that's right. What did you say?
Stupid. Didn't make any sense in context, actually.
By the way, what I want to know is, do you ever bring subscribers in on this meeting? Could you do a drawing where a subscriber could actually come here and sit down with you guys?
We did have one on. It wasn't a contest. She just was like, I'm going to be in town, and she's done a bunch of proofreading for us and stuff, so we had
You brought her in. It could happen to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're actually having some subscribers that are visiting the office tomorrow. So.
Oh,
there you
nice.
go. Okay.
It could happen to you. By the way, what a great gift. Give people the gift of a subscription to the Babylon Bee.
We do have a gift to your...
Why wouldn't you do that? You love this, don't you? Come
We
on.
put together a whole Frank Turek ad.
Do it.
We're not paying them, are we?
No. I just love the Babylon Bee. These guys are brilliant. The whole team's brilliant. And you can make points that you can't make directly. You can make those points through humor, and that's what these guys do.
Did you sell used cars before?
Negative. Never did.
Yeah, what was your job before
This is not a
apologetic?
used car. I was in the Navy, which stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. So got out of that and went to seminary.
Wow.
So
At a young age?
I was in naval aviation. No, I was 32 when I went to
You're in
seminary.
the Navy all the way from
From college.
Okay.
8 years in the Navy, yeah.
What'd you go to college for?
University
What'd you go to
of
college
Rochester.
for?
I went to college to go into the Navy.
Oh, wow.
So I
Okay.
could be a naval aviator.
Do you have any cool Navy stories?
Naval aviator.
Oh, yeah, I got cool naval stories.
Alien thing.
Over there.
Or
in
shoot
the,
a rocket or anything?
I did. I shot a Harpoon missile right off the coast of California here.
Wow.
At California? Or
Right off of California. Point
Oh,
Magoo, just north of here.
Okay, just like a training.
I can't tell you where we are. Scratch that.
Point
You don't
Magoo.
know where we are. In California.
Subscribers,
We're
it's a little
We're
more,
not near
okay.
Point Magoo. So,
All right. You were not near Point Magoo.
That's a real place.
It is. It is. You didn't know that?
You're a
it's
naval-
not Mr. Magoo. It's
you're
not
a-
like
MUG.
Roadhog. It's not like that. It's Point Magoo. It's like M-U-G-U, something like that.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Point Magoo.
Yeah.
I'm already laughing
It's like
at the
near
word.
Ventura. You know where that
The
is.
word naval aviator sounds like an alien probe thing. Like they use the naval aviator to poke their belly button, to extract their soul. And now they're at Point Magoo.
That's Point
All
Magoo. That's right.
Oh, Point Mugu.
There it is, right there. We got it. Look, it's on the
It's Mugu.
Point Magoo State Park. You can go there. It's a park. If you
never
ever
heard
see a
of that.
missile cruising across the water there, that was me.
That's you.
That's right.
That's the Turek. The Turek missile.
I've lost all memory of what we were doing here.
Yeah, that's all right. Let me ask you guys questions for the
Okay, yeah, you
subscribers.
ask us a few
all right?
questions, okay,
How
yeah.
did the Babylon Bee start?
Oh, we've answered that.
There was a
They
guy,
know?
There was a guy named Adam Ford. He still exists.
In Detroit.
Yeah, around Detroit, and he was drawing Christian Reformed web comics and said, "Hey, The Onion is making these really hilarious posts that are making an extremely sharp political point, and I completely disagree with it, but I wish I believed that point because it's such a good
All right.
joke, and I wish we had that on the right, basically."
And you wrote into him.
And I emailed him on day one.
All right.
And just started emailing headlines in.
And what were you doing at the time?
I was selling pipes, valves, and fittings to municipal entities and contractors for new construction and repair.
So I bet you're upset you can't do that anymore, huh?
Yeah, it's very sad. I have all the part numbers memorized still.
You do? Okay.
I can explain the
Yeah,
water
we'll walk
system.
down the road and he'll tell me what kind of fire hydrant that is.
It's the Jones J1700. It's a good one.
Cliff Clay.
That's like the BMW of fire
It
hydrants.
is?
The Lexus.
How about
It's-
you, Ethan? How did it happen for you to get connected here?
Well, if you guys want the full story, you listen to episode 1 of the podcast. You can get this whole thing.
Oh, good.
But I was he liked my comics, and I liked the Babylon Bee, and he followed me on Twitter. I think somehow I found him.
I think I saw you share a B article or
I
something.
I rarely shared them because I didn't want to be. I was still scared of being
You're
outed.
still a little undercover.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then I saw one
He
I
hadn't
thought
come
might
out
be
yet.
safe enough.
You were doing what at the time?
I think I was.
Probably wrapping up VeggieTales.
Yeah, I was working on VeggieTales, and
Oh, all right.
maybe around the time Axe Cop had ended my show.
He had a
So, yeah, I was still
TV
in
show
cartoons
based
and
on his
stuff.
comic on Fox, the cartoon X Cop.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was in the big time, and then a downhill.
Downhill
Here I
to the
am.
Babylon Bee. Here we
Downhill
are.
all the way
All
to
right.
the Babylon
But you
Bee.
do get to wear these stylish Hugh Hefner robes.
You don't
Nobody
get
knows
these
that
at
you
Fox.
Hefters.
You get
What?
these at Babylon Bee.
You get these
So-
at Babylon Bee. That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, I sent him a bunch of headline ideas. I told him I'd always wanted to, and he humored me.
He had a very high batting average.
Uh-huh.
The batting average of the typical person who sends me 30 headlines
Yeah.
is 0.
Wow, that good, huh?
Yeah, and he was batting like 300.
You liked like 10 of mine.
Yeah, 10
Adam
of
liked
30.
maybe like 4, but still.
Yeah, I was sending Adam.
And
He's
now
like,
I
"Great,"
look
and he's
back,
like, "No."
that's pretty good. Like
Yeah, that was good.
now that I've seen the amount of look through the emails we get and everything, it's pretty rare. In fact, I don't think I've seen it since then.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn batting average here was pretty good.
That's pretty good,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And then also I could Photoshop. They like that.
baseball reference.
Yeah, we'll keep it going. Yeah, Tony Gwynn, people going, San Diego Padres years ago.
Yeah.
There you go.
Subscribe.
394.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Was that his lifetime, 394?
I think so. Yeah.
Get
I guess
out
I
of
know
here.
this. Or is that a pipe fitting?
Yeah.
No, that's not. That's a fire
That's a
hydrant.
fire hydrant, yeah.
Jones 394. You never gave us any cool naval stories.
Cool naval stories.
Yeah, you punching people or anything? Bar fights?
Exotic lands. Is it everything it says on the commercial?
Yeah, well, Saudi Arabia, been there. This is before the Iran-Iraq War, when we were reflagging the Kuwaiti tankers to go through the Persian Gulf because the Iranians would attack any ship that got too close to Farsi Island, like they're doing right now on occasion. And so we put American flags on those and brought them through the Persian Gulf. This is just before Saddam invaded Kuwait when you guys weren't even born.
I was born.
1990. 1990.
It was like 90.
I was
yeah.
10, man.
You were 10?
I was 3.
Oh, all right. You guys were born. Well, you remembered well then.
I've read Schwarzkopf's autobiography.
You did. Norman Schwarzkopf.
Yep.
He was the man in charge of Operation Desert Storm. We were there before Desert Storm. Now, Saudi Arabia is not a fun place to go. Just so you know. You don't have to put that on your bucket list.
Well, they make the Navy look really cool on the commercials. So is that?
It is
Do
cool.
you do those dances and stuff? That's all I can think
yeah,
of.
those are the Russians. Yeah, they're the enemy.
Well, they had like the Navy guys dancing around, do like the Charleston or something.
No, we're not doing that.
They're the ones who got Trump elected.
Yeah, that's right. It was all
Yeah,
the Navy folks. So.
Okay.
the Russian Navy.
Yeah, but no, we went to some crazy places. So Saudi Arabia's probably Diego Garcia, Saudi Arabia, Philippines.
Were you a Christian at the time?
Magoo.
I don't know your origin
I became a
story.
Christian right after college in the Navy because I met the son of a Methodist minister, and I had so many questions for this guy. Did that fire just come on?
It sure looked like it. It was just like,
Good thing, because the air
Whoa,
conditioning is
yeah,
not
yeah.
on, and this will just add to the ambiance.
Yeah.
And I had so many questions for him. He finally said, "You just need to get Josh McDowell books." So I got Evidence That Demands a Verdict and More Than a Carpenter, became a Christian. Once I got out of the Navy, I met Norman Geisler, who was starting a seminary in Charlotte. And so right after that, I went to the seminary in Charlotte, and we've been there ever since.
apologetics dream team. Let's say you had to debate like the smartest
Olympics.
atheists in the world. You get to pick 5 atheists or 5 apologists on your,
Right now,
on your team.
who are alive now?
all time.
All
I
time.
kinda like
Let's
all
say
time.
all time. Let's say all time.
Well, all time, you got to start with the Apostle Paul. How about just let's bring Jesus in?
No, you can't say Jesus.
Okay.
Disqualified.
That's
yeah.
cheating.
Okay, well, of course, I don't know how good C.S. Lewis was as a speaker, but you can't not put Lewis on the team, right?
Well, he used to give like radio lectures and stuff.
Yeah,
That's what a lot
yeah.
of his
I don't know how good he
was.
was on his feet. Is my question.
Yeah.
You know.
He probably sat
I
down.
bet Chesterton was pretty good on his feet.
Yep, he was.
He sat down a lot too, probably.
That's true. Yeah.
That's right. And of course, you got to have William Lane Craig on the team, don't you?
Sure.
I mean, how many people has he debated in the past 40 years? Probably more than anybody else for Christianity. So definitely him. There's a guy that is totally under the radar, but I would put him on the team. His name is Tim McGrew.
Okay.
He is he's a
Point
professor.
Not
at-
Point Magoo, not Tim McGraw.
Not Tim, yeah. He's a professor at Western Michigan University. He's so brilliant, he teaches William Lane Craig probability theory. So definitely Tim McGrew. He would be a guy that would know the ins and outs of all this stuff. My friend J. Warner Wallace, I'd put him on the team. He's the
Okay.
cold case homicide detective. He doesn't do a lot of debates, but he would be great at it.
Okay.
And
Well, debating's a specific skill set, right?
yeah,
it's not like,
It is.
It's not like the smartest people, you know. It's
Right,
like the good
right.
debaters.
But he knows the ins and the outs. For the resurrection, Gary Habermas. You guys know Gary?
No.
Top guy in the world on the resurrection. You should know him.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm
Sounds
sorry.
familiar.
Yeah. Liberty
I've heard that.
University. Just wrote his magnum opus. 5,000 pages.
Wow.
Magnum opus on the resurrection.
Wow.
So those are the guys I'd certainly put on there.
Okay.
If I needed somebody to do scientific apologetics, Ross is good on that regard. It depends on how technical you want to be, because he can be really technical, as you know.
Yeah.
You've had you on the show, haven't you?
We haven't. We had one of his.
One of his
associates
guys.
on, yeah.
Okay, all
Those
right.
little lackeys.
One of his minions.
Yeah.
What about an atheist Legion of Doom? Like if you were to
Yeah.
pick the top 5
Keeps you up at night.
atheists, nightmare team to debate against.
Well,
Like a midget
actually,
nightmare.
the best orator
debate.
was Hitchens,
Uh-huh.
but his content was so bad.
Yeah,
He didn't have good
emotional and
content.
stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to a debate with Hitchens, you go, I like this guy. This
Charming,
guy's good.
yeah.
If you read it, you're going, what's he talking about? You know, in our first debate, he started talking about, the topic was, does God exist? And the first thing he talks about is Mother Teresa, how Mother Teresa was a bad person. Going, what does this have to do with
That's a
God
bad argument,
existing?
right?
Yeah, there's no argument. It's just he's emoting. But he was so good rhetorically.
Yeah.
Michael Shermer, I like Michael Shermer. I don't know how good a debater he is, but he's very affable. He's very nice. He's
The other
very
thing, the
pleasant.
strongest thing about him is he just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. And
And
he
it
is
seems like he leads
personally.
a fairly normal life.
Yeah, I've had a couple of debates with him.
Most atheists seem like they go to drug raves.
Yeah, or like they got issues,
Yeah. Actually, I don't
or at
think,
least they seem angry.
I don't think
I'm just kidding.
atheists have good arguments. I think what they have are complaints about the way God's running the universe. Well, there's too much evil in the world, or God didn't write my name in the sky, or the God of the Bible kills the Canaanites. He's bad, but I have a right to an abortion. In any event, so they don't really have arguments. They have complaints about the way God's running the universe. So I don't find atheist arguments compelling at all.
About Ricky Gervais.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Get him on there.
Yeah.
He tells funny
Actually,
jokes and stuff.
he's good rhetorically. He
Right,
is.
right.
The problem of evil is a hard problem to deal with in a short period of time. That's the problem. It's not the arguments. It's can you counter the arguments in a short period of time? Because the biggest problem everyone has in a debate is time. You don't have enough
Yeah.
time.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like an hour, hour
Yeah.
and a half, 2
Have
hours.
they done like
to
a
convince
non-stop
someone.
debate until you guys pass out, like a steel game?
Just a
That's
war
right.
of
To
To
attrition.
the death,
Yeah.
or like, yeah.
I like it.
None of those Duchess of Queensberry rules, just
Like a
go-
filibuster debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Just keep
You
going.
should, we should set that up.
By the way, the other guy you got to put on the team, because not only is probably the most
Atheist?
brilliant
The
of
Legion of
anybody,
Doom or the Justice
the
League?
Christian, the Justice League. You got to put on the team. because he's so brilliant and so likable is John Lennox. You know John Lennox?
No.
From the UK? Philosopher and mathematician who debated Dawkins twice. You can see them on YouTube. And the nicest, happiest guy. In fact, he's an old Irishman who reminds you of your favorite uncle. One guy who was reviewing the debate between he and Dawkins said, and Dawkins is kind of a sourpuss. The guy said, watching John Lennox debate Richard Dawkins was like watching Santa Claus debate the devil. So check Lennox out. He's brilliant.
All right. Well, you want to do some subscriber headlines?
Yeah, let's pay them their due.
So, subscribers, you guys
Give
sent
them
in
their
some headlines, and these are the top voted ones of the week.
Yeah.
Briardale writes, Idaho puts on mask to stop the spread of California.
Not bad.
Should we get a Frank rating on that one?
Yeah, 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Well, it's not Babylon Bee quality yet.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So if Babylon Bee
training
quality's
goes on.
10, he's probably a 6 or 7.
Oh, that's good.
What do you think?
That's
What do you think?
6, 7. We
right.
published a lot of 6 and 7. So
All right,
it's
all right.
just what it is.
All right, Roddy's Sunglasses says, 1% elites shouldn't control the 99% of us, says person who believes 1% trans people should control our language, education, culture.
Nice idea, but too long.
Got to be a way to
I got
cut,
lost halfway
yeah.
through.
cut a few hundred words out of there.
Yeah,
and
it
it'll
took
be
too
good.
long.
And you
to
can
get
tell he
through it.
tried to shorten it by leaving certain words out because it sounds like kind of broken English in there.
You get to read this one, Frank.
Execution delayed when inmate refuses to don mask.
That's David Deeble.
They got Don in there. I immediately thought of Trump
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, just people don't really say don in normal conversation
That's right.
anymore.
That's right.
I'm going to don a smoking jacket. Zach Overs writes, calendars warn that January 6th could happen again. I like that one.
Pseudo. Apple to begin scanning phones for evidence of Babylon Bee posts.
Yeah, not bad there, huh?
It's probably actually happening already.
That's already happening.
You
Yep.
just vote for that in real time, Penn?
That's right. What's this? JG67 says, de Blasio assures New York City that non-vaccinated residents will be safe and happy in their special section in the back of the bus. Okay, once again, too long. But I like this. I like the idea.
You
What
like
do you
the
think?
idea?
Getting out there.
I always shy away a little bit from saying that
Yeah, I
the
always say
vaccinated thing
it's
is
just
as
like
bad
the plight
as
of black
the civil
people.
rights.
Or yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like the Nazis.
Yeah,
Because that's what the LGBTQIA whatever community likes to do. Mm-hmm. They're like, we're just like the civil rights movement, and the people that actually were in the civil rights movement are like, maybe not.
yeah.
Rad Dad 2007. Husband completes all household projects except the one that his wife actually asked for. This is what I do when we're getting ready for a party or barbecue or whatever. I'm outside hosing off the driveway.
Yeah, I'll start doing all these jobs and I'll forget that there was one she actually told me to do.
That's right. That's right.
Relatable. Nice.
Very relatable.
Points for
He
relatability.
might actually be married.
Yeah.
Kurgle. Companies having a hard time finding employees decide to make things worse by firing anyone who doesn't get jabbed. Oh, vaccine.
Maybe a little shorter.
Yeah, it was, once again.
Slightly desperate housewife says, unborn babies identify as sea turtles to gain federal protection. Nice. Yeah.
Sea turtle eggs, even.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our subscriber that was here that one time. That
Yeah,
was
she
on
came
our show.
She sat there.
She's almost always on the top 10, right? Most of the time. Emotional support python. It says, Sturgis?
Yeah.
Sturgis follows Obama's lead, eliminating risk of super spreader event by inviting 7 fewer people.
That was a giant
the
biking
biker
rally.
the biker rally, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Obama did. He invited 7 fewer people.
Well, he said, I'm scaling back. And then all of a sudden, it was like hundreds of people. So it's like, well, what was it?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Is it my turn?
It's you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you're
right
up,
here.
man.
Flannel foe. Op-ed. It is our duty to rebel against tyrannical government overreach unless my party is in charge.
We would love it. Publish it.
Absolutely.
We're
Gotta
on
write
one.
that one up, too.
That's a good one.
All right.
Last one.
This is Olu123. Did I get that right?
Sure.
Doctors who can't define gender insist that they know your body better than you do. Ooh.
Oh, like vaccine? Is that a vaccine joke?
Yeah, probably reference to the vaccine. Yeah. That's pretty good right
Publish
there.
it, except Facebook wouldn't let more than 5 people see it.
That's like
In the name of inclusion, tolerance, and diversity.
Yes, that's it. All right, we have some bonus
So-
hate mail now.
Oh, yeah, the bonus hate mail.
Bonus hate mail.
Yeah, we get a bonus hate mail just for the subscribers.
Oh, okay.
What is this on? You know.
Can I even say
I
this
don't
word?
exactly remember, but it was on one of our YouTube videos.
Okay. Herp derp, the left are the real fascists. Can the Babylon Bee get any more red-faced? I can't,
I don't know what that
can't really
means.
say it. Can you say that?
Oh, so let's do a bleep over it.
Can the Babylon Bee get any more libtard?
Any
Any more
slow down of the
Get
mind?
any more handicaps?
emotionally?
mentally handicapped? Get any more cerebral palsy?
So my wife and I have been watching through Buffy the Vampire Slayer again. And, that only came out like 20 years ago. And they use this word all the time.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm like,
It's
this
only
is
like it only stopped like 5 years ago or so. It's
I
like-
didn't even realize
yeah.
it was, I kept saying it, and then people were like,
Can the Babylon Bee get any more special needs? Is that it?
This basically is
Is that what it's saying? I
Babylon, we get any
Okay.
more brain damaged?
don't know.
I don't think it's the same as brain damage.
But they're using it. It just
In the
means your
term,
mind's
that
messed up.
we're slow and like someone hit us on the head with a baseball bat. Okay, we have 10 bonus questions for Frank to close out this beautiful,
All right.
epic show.
So we've already done our first 10 questions with you in the past interview.
We did. These are bonus.
These are the
Bonus.
10
Let's do
more
them.
questions.
Okay.
Number 1.
A rare honor.
Would you kill baby Hitler? What about teenage Hitler? What if you could only go back in time for 5 minutes when Hitler's mom was 6 months pregnant with him? Would you kill Hitler's mom?
The answer is I don't have the authority to kill anyone.
So you
No, you
wouldn't
can't
kill
do
him.
that. If God doesn't kill them, God allows it because we have free will, and so he also allows the outcome, but he can also redeem the outcome. We can't always see how, but since he's God and he sees the end from the beginning, he can allow things to ripple forward for good. Now, it's hard to say when you're talking about Hitler, but, you can even say that about us. If someone knew that we would do the evil that we do every day, would that person be justified in killing us? The answer is no. Right? True. People always say, why doesn't God stop all the evil in the world? And sometimes when they say that, I say, maybe because if he did, he might start with you. Right? Or he might start with me. We always think about God stopping somebody else, not us, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about?
Sure, did you get a?
Yeah, we had a couple of
I
edits in
put
there.
the new one in there.
What about vaccinations? Would you vaccinate baby Hitler?
Would I vaccinate baby Hitler? See, that's assuming I know what Hitler's. Yeah, of course you would. Yeah, just like you treat him like any other baby because we don't know what's going to happen anyway. And he's a human being. He deserves what everybody else deserves.
Which is a vaccine.
Well, it could be.
Okay.
It's a good vaccine.
All right, that's a good one. Okay.
Are these which vaccine are we talking?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
If you could create your own holiday, what would it be?
Ooh. I would give the veterans a month rather than the LGBTQ people.
Instead of Pride Month.
Yeah. Why don't we have Veterans Month?
Yeah, they need a whole
Or-
month.
or
Everybody needs a
military month.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It sounds kind of fascist.
It is. Okay, right. How about Service Month? It could include the military, the police, paramedics, firemen, people that
Waitresses.
serve.
Satire writers.
Exactly, right there.
Chick-fil-A workers.
Chick-fil-A. Hey, get the Chick-fil-A workers to run the government would be all right. My pleasure.
You get to only eat one food for the rest of your life. What is it?
And I'm not going to get sick of it?
Well, that's why you have to pick a good one.
Yeah, that's why you got to pick. Yeah.
Because you probably will get sick of it, but it's something that like
It'll last the longest.
lasts the longest, or maybe your love for it will be renewed throughout your life.
Gee, that is a tough one. I'm a steak guy. Steak.
It's probably a good answer.
Or Chick-fil-A.
What if you did
God's
a
chicken.
6,000-mile shish kebab with every food on it?
I think it's cheating. It violates the spirit of the question.
Shish kebab.
French fry, hot pizza. Okay. What is a song, movie, band, etc. that you are ashamed to actually like?
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure.
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Justin Bieber,
Song,
Baby
movie.
Baby.
Okay, movie, all the Naked Gun stuff.
Okay.
You're ashamed of that?
Well, my wife thinks I ought to be ashamed
not
of
very
it. Is it
intellectual.
stupid? But I just die
really-
at that slapstick stuff, that
Yeah,
Leslie
it's so
Nielsen
good.
stuff. Yeah, I
Brilliant.
think that stuff's brilliant. The
Greatest.
Zucker brothers, Airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No shame in that.
right.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Number 5.
Oh, you get this one?
You can start in paragraph. A runaway trolley is heading down the tracks towards the Newsboys, who will be killed if the trolley proceeds on its present course. You are on a footbridge over the tracks in between the approaching trolley and the newsboys. Next to you on this footbridge are Ethan and Kyle.
If you do nothing, the trolley will proceed, causing the deaths of the 5 newsboys. The only way to save the lives of the newsboys is to push Ethan and Kyle off the bridge and onto the tracks below, where their combined weight will be the perfect amount to stop the trolley, causing their deaths.
What do you
Our
do?
deaths. So what do you do?
God's not dead, but the newsboys are. What can I say?
God's not at 5.
So is it morally justified to kill Kyle and Ethan to save 5? Kill the lives of 2 to save.
Would you kill us to save the newsboys? Is basically the question.
No, I wouldn't kill you guys to save the newsboys. And I love the newsboys. They're nice people, but I don't know them. I know you guys. Okay.
So you just watch it all go down?
But I'm not.
What if we're like, yes, throw us down.
Come on. We want to save the newsboys. They still got way more God's Not Dead movies to make.
Yeah, but there's so many more Babylon Bee headlines that need to be made.
So we're
Come on.
screaming at you.
So-
push us down. Push
You're
us
just
down.
measuring us by the value of what
We're
we make
using a real
artistically.
functional approach to life here, which we ought not be doing. But
The newsboys are looking up and screaming, "Save us!" And you look down and whisper, "No."
say, jump off.
Babylon B is the future. What conspiracy theory do you secretly actually believe?
I'm starting to believe that China's behind this COVID thing more so
Well,
than.
that's just facts. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that's a conspiracy, actually.
Like
Are
Bigfoot
you?
or something?
Yeah, or anything that
Aliens.
you find interesting, that entertain the idea of
Yeah, even if you kind of like toy with it.
Birds aren't real.
birds aren't real, flat
Yeah, they're
Earth.
robots.
Oh, flat Earth? Yeah, right.
You're not flat Earth.
Take a long walk. Come on.
I believe the King James version of the Bible.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
just saying,
That's right. Yeah, that's
7-day creation.
that.
it's not a conspiracy.
It's conspiracy. That's right. 7-day creation. I'm actually starting to believe in Noah's Ark. Tell you the truth.
You didn't believe in that?
No, I do.
That's it.
Yeah. Like if God can create the universe out of nothing, he can do Noah's Ark or anything else. And the evidence shows he can and did create the universe out of nothing. Even the atheists are admitting the universe came into existence out of nothing. They don't think it's God, but what else could it be?
All right. No.
Who else could it be?
Number 7. What is something you wish had never been invented? Besides these smoking jackets.
Here's my serious answer. Pornography,
Yeah.
because so many people are being hammered by it. That would probably be
Yeah, you can get a serious
number
answer.
one. Yeah. What else? Wish had never been invented. I think most technology is amoral, as you know. You can use it for good or bad. I'm a little bit concerned, but I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do about social media and the effect it's having on kids. I don't know what to do about it other than trying to limit it. But
I do think we'd be better if social media hadn't been invented.
yeah,
Personally. Or the Babylon Bee wouldn't exist.
None of us would know each other.
yeah, that's right. I mean, again, there's advantages and disadvantages, but man, we're frying kids' brains on social media. Their attention span, what they think is true about reality. It's all about following your heart, and it creates a lot
Like
of.
Hitler said.
It's the total Hitler headline.
Yeah.
Hitler following his heart.
Oh, we didn't read that on this show.
We didn't, but it was brilliant.
You'll see it somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good question. Oh,
You get to change the ending of any book or movie to make it better. What do you change?
ooh,
Or TV show?
Ending of anything, really. Podcast,
wow.
documentary,
Any
ending of this
book or
podcast.
movie to make it better.
video game.
Man, I got to think about that.
That's a tough one. Some of these are kind of tough.
Yeah.
He was much quicker with the difficult moral quandary. Than
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
was with the
yeah.
changing the end of a
These
movie.
ones are trying to think. Book or movie to make it better.
That's a movie you hated.
Well, there's one we reviewed that I wasn't really fond of that we have in the book is Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, such a bad movie.
Yeah.
But even
is there
changing
an
the
ending
ending
you
wouldn't,
change to
wouldn't
make it
solve
better?
it. Wouldn't
Yeah,
fix
no,
it.
it wouldn't solve it.
But,
But
it came out and she became to Christ at the end.
An altar call.
there actually is a lot of good lessons in that movie, but the movie plot was so bad, you're going, oh.
And the fact that Wonder Woman gives a speech at the end, and that's the big conclusion. It would make it better if she didn't just give a speech at the end.
Yeah. But you see,
the
given
woman
the
just shut her
speech,
mouth?
she wins with love. See, that's the point. If what even?
If the woman just shut her mouth.
The woman just shut her mouth. Jesus Christ.
We're going to get mail for that.
I wasn't saying that. I'm just trying to understand. And
Frank was saying
what
that.
Frank's saying.
Oh, it's me. You're describing that to me, all
I'm
right?
just saying, yeah.
Honey, I'll be home later. Don't bother. No.
Okay, you're going to AOC's gulags, and you only get to take one book and one movie with you.
Oh, I'm going to say the Bible,
No, you
right?
already have the Bible. It's
I already got the Bible.
You got it tattooed to both your arms and legs.
I'm going to one book and one movie with
And you
me.
can't choose the Bible, and you can't choose the Passion of the Christ.
I can't sound
The Bible
real
of
spiritual.
movies. Yeah. Well, it's the Bible of movies.
Okay.
So you can be spiritual, but I mean, yeah.
The gulag. I got to take some kind of book on survival with me. I don't know what that would be.
Like a cookbook or
Yeah, a cookbook. Yeah, a cookbook with stuff I can't. How to live off the land. How to live
to
off
cook
dirt
dog,
and
yeah.
love it.
how to eat dog.
Right. And one movie.
Yeah.
I got to pick a real long one. I might take Rocky,
That's a good movie.
or I might take Back to the Future.
That's a good movie.
I love Back to the Future. Or I might take Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Another good one.
Another one
I'm
of
a
my
Last
favorites.
Crusade man myself, but I mean,
You like The Last Crusade?
I think better than Raiders, but I do like Raiders.
Yeah. Those are just fun, man. I just love those movies. All right.
All right. Do you accept
10.
Jesus as your Lord and Savior again? Like, just recommit yourself?
I'll recommit myself right here,
Rededicate
right now.
right now.
Rededicate. See, that's the value of the Babylon Bee, ladies and gentlemen. And unless you're a subscriber, you don't get people recommitting themselves to Jesus on the show unless you're a subscriber. So you are a subscriber, but why aren't your friends subscribers? Why not? Give them a gift.
If I were channel surfing late at night and he were selling like ShamWow,
Yeah.
I'd totally buy it. 100%.
That's right. Why not? And what a great gift. They're going to laugh. They're going to be on the inside with these guys.
On the inside.
Give them a subscription to the Babylon Bee.
That's right. All right, everyone. Well, we are about to faint because it is 100 degrees outside and we are wearing smoking jackets with no AC. So we are going to sign off. Make sure to check out Frank Turek's ministry, crossexamine.org. And on YouTube, Cross Examine has lots of cool videos and apologetics and all that good stuff.
And the podcast. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
Check that out, too.
There you go.
Peace out, everybody. God bless you.